bolster blanket strap if you choose. Namaste, good morning and welcome. A little bit of all my favourites this morning from the last 8 weeks and Sunday stretch. So starting with some breathing, prop yourselves up, make a good thick pillow. And let's see if we can support and lengthen the healthy curvature of the spine, healthy shape of the spine by placing ourselves nice and comfortably up and down the length of the bolster with the spine. If you want to use a strap, this is the one where you go with a big loop around the waist and between the knees and underneath the feet. And just tighten that loop up gently, not too strong. That's it. And you don't have to use a strap. A strap is optional. It just helps the heels to retain the heels in towards the groins a little bit. Tip, have your strap buckle accessible so you don't have to disturb yourself. You want to have it between ankle and groin there, and just hook it down like this. Use your thumbs and hook it down. So when you come out of this, as little disturbance as possible, be able to reach your buckle is the way to go. And you can start with your legs as you choose, but legs bent is good, and strap, if you're in Baddha Konasana, is good. The main point of the pose is that support. It's a supported breathing posture, which works very nicely in quieter classes or any time you want to create a little bit of space, both physically and mentally. Lengthen your lower back, make sure it's comfortable. Rest your elbows and observe that beautiful opening through the chest, softness through the shoulders. And if you choose, with elbows resting on the mat, you can rest hands on the body also. Take a long breath in and out. And let yourselves rest back, sink down, feel supported. And you will, if you're using the props, you will feel more support, more opening, chest, rib cage, more release, shoulders back, spine, and yes, a little bit of inner legs in this one also. So you don't have to stay here with the legs, you just be comfortable. You stretch them out if you need to, and particularly be comfortable and lengthen through the spine, particular attention to your lower back. Observe the flow, the ebb and the flow of your breathing. And look for that sense of resting down, giving way a little more as you exhale. We want to take weight into the bolster, into the mat, into the earth. Can you feel any change in the nature of your breathing? And breathing's and emotion are very closely connected. And as we tune in to the ebb and the flow of the breath, our nervous system is soothed, our emotions quieten. Can you feel any sense of grounding, sense of center? Just a few breaths more. Let your breathing flow as comfortably and as freely and as easily as you can. And if you haven't already, stretch your legs out. Let go of that strap if you're still in it. And lengthen those legs gently. Lengthen lower back. Feel the spine lengthen. And let's stay here for a few breaths more. Slow and steady process of finding and feeling the breath, finding and feeling our center. And finish with a deep breath in and out. And we'll come out nice and slowly. We're just going to bend the knees up and stretch the arms out overhead. So be supported here, be stable. You can widen the feet a little bit. Gently activate arms, hands and fingers. So your spine will lengthen here also. And that very gently energizes and awakens. It's like just moving your energy a little bit. That's it. Okay. Make your way down onto whatever side suits, right side traditionally, and support yourself quietly there for a few moments. Take a couple of breaths, as many as you choose here, and let your breathing guide you. Depending on, how busy we are and what's happening in our lives, it can take some time for the breath to settle, for the nervous system to smooth, and sometimes for those emotions to settle too. But this is such a valuable practice in that regard. It brings balance to our lives, and without this, the breath, that soothing influence of the breath, then we find, emotions, nervous system, energy just continuing to mount, to grow, and sometimes to go over the top. So give yourselves over to your breathing, and again, as you stretch out gently here, just keep your head up a little bit. And let yourselves lengthen back in your Virasana forward bend here. Use your bolster if you've got one. It's terrific support for your shoulders. Head up a little bit the same. And take some deep breaths. So again, we find and we feel the breath. And get a little bit of length going here. You can stretch or rest the head down. Once you feel you've lengthened a little bit more. And let's stay for just a few more breaths and continue and deepen that process. Take long, fullish breaths in and out. And again, give way, particularly through hip and lower back, and let yourself sit back. And feel that you can very gently lengthen forwards. Rest the head. Super breathing pose. Last couple of breaths can be more spacious and flow more easily. A lovely sense of gently opening and releasing here on the breath. Finish off with a deep breath in and out. And remember, you can stay longer in any of these poses this morning, any time in your practice, no problem. Feel free, make it your practice. I'm going to roll a little from side to side here to loosen through particularly foot, ankle, knee, hip, which feels good, should feel good after your holds. A little bit of moving is always nice. Okay, so just keep your bolster handy. I think we'll use that, or a couple of blocks if you've got them. Stretch your feet gently. Turn your toes under. Take a little bit of weight there. And just lengthen your lower back a little bit here. Tilt your pelvis back. That's it. And then come to easy squat. And let your hands stretch gently and evenly. Squeezing in the elbows with the knees will help you lift up and support through front body, upper body a little bit more. Leaning forwards accentuates that and also allows us to manage discomfort through particularly arches, feet, ankles, knees, this kind of thing. Just lean back a little bit. Now and stretch forwards. You could use your bolster here if you choose. So take a little bit more weight through the feet. That's it. Last few breaths, let your shoulders sit back very gently. Your neck, your middle back, your sternum lengthen a little bit here. That's it. All right. And then we will take some lunge here. So use something to prop you up, which might be fingertips, but it might also be a couple of blocks or a bolster, so you can lift a little bit higher. And take some deeper breaths now. Very much a breathing pose that features that opening, that expansion of the rib cage, the whole body really, as you breathe in. You sink down, give way as you breathe out, dropping down through the groins. Lift and open and broaden through the front body. You can look up a little bit here. Lift your gaze. Move your energy very gently here on the breath. And as the body opens, lengthens and releases. That's it. Deep breath in to finish. Drop down, lift, broaden and open through front body as you exhale. Change sides. Just bring the other leg forwards. Have a good wide distance between your front foot and your back knee. And a good way to do that is to walk the front foot out a little. Activate that front foot, so you stretch your toes very gently. Nice long breaths in and out. And look for that sense of lengthening here between your tailbone dropping, your chest bone lifting, and your inner arms lengthening here. That's it. And can you sit the shoulders back and down a little more as you breathe out, and feel your neck lengthen. Move your head very gently. Deep breaths, just a couple more. Should do it, and if you're breathing with long, fullish breaths, you'll know. You'll feel how long to stay here. That's it. That's good. All right. And when we come out, just sit back again and stretch forwards. And with a couple of breaths to sit back and lengthen back. Just keep your head up. And then walk your hands around to the right side of your mat. Take long breaths here. And let yourselves lengthen out a little bit more. The head can come down as you're ready, and you might support the head. Walk your hands through to the other side and breathe here. Expansive and opening breaths. Soften and lengthen as you breathe out. And feel the nature and the flow of your breathing now. It's a little different, isn't it, to when we started. All right, you just come up nice and easy, and you can sit up once more on bolster or block. All right, going straight into Marishasana twist. Let's do this. You can bring left foot over right, and you see the extended leg has just moved across a little bit to the other side of the mat. Makes it a little easier to get the purchase here. We're looking to bring elbow inside the knee, front arm, and to straighten both arms here as we look to the left. If your left leg is up, you'll be looking to the left, or vice versa. And again, take some deeper breaths here. Just gently on the twist, make sure you can get a good breath in. And exhaling, stretch your arms out. To stretch both arms here. Deep breaths. And the focus here as you twist here is to exhale and stretch your arms, and that will lift, broaden and open you here. Just back off a little bit as you breathe in. Deep breaths. And explore the interplay between breathing and twisting here. It makes this pose quite an active one, although we're holding. Last deep breath in and out. Stretch those arms, stretch your fingers and extend out through the long leg as well. Now press the other foot down, left foot or raised leg foot down. Pull the tummy in a bit. Nice long breath out. All right, I'm going to stay with right foot forwards. Left foot back, and now bring the right foot just a little bit towards the other side of the mat. Bring the left foot in. Both feet are kind of turned out very gently. I'm going to walk the hands forwards. You need a little bit of space between the feet and the legs, obviously, to have room to stretch forwards here. So do you see how I'm still on the same side? Right leg, right foot is to the right of the mat, and left foot to the left. Lengthen out through that long leg, through the ball of the big toe, and press down nice and evenly through this left foot here. Lean into this one. Lean in and lean in. Those of you, some of you are a little bit more practiced, you can bring this left arm behind, and you can also bring the right arm behind and hook in the fingers here, which is a little stronger, but not much. So either which way. The focus here is very much that nice strong press and plenty of weight as evenly as you can into that left foot that's underneath you, the foot that's closest to the body. That's it. And a couple of options here. Last breath or two, lengthen your chest bone a little bit more. Sit your shoulders back. So a deep, deep release into left side, hip and lower back. And some lengthening through the right leg, extended leg. That's it. All right, that's good. Okay, when we come back up, we're going to finish the third pose on this side. I'm still right leg forwards and left leg back. Going back to Marishasana twist, but now with the distance between the foot and the knee about hip width. You bring elbow, if you can, outside the knee. And what's going to help us here is to press the knee into the elbow and the elbow into the knee. Deep breaths. Still stretch that trailing arm, lift up and lengthen as you breathe out, pull the tummy in, and see if you can draw shoulders down a little bit, particularly leading shoulder. That's the one towards the front of your mat. Draw that one down, and you're trying to press back with the elbow but forwards with the knee. You can look forwards, leading shoulder point, and trailing shoulder point, look behind. Keep breathing and exploring that interplay between the twist and the breath. It's a little harder to keep the shoulders down. Deep breath, exhaling, draw them down. Feel how that works. Really feel the neck nice and long. Deep breath to finish. And plenty of freedom of movement here is super. Fantastic. Good twist on a Sunday morning is pretty good, and any time really. Hard to beat a good twist, and lots of people will tell you that. I think Rita's pretty comfortable, pretty popular, the twists. She really likes those. Lots of us do, don't we? Okay. So we're starting with the easy one. I've now changed sides. I've got left leg forwards. It's going a bit to the right side of the mat. Right foot is coming over left, and we're starting like so. That's it, lift up. And then if you can, you bring the arm out, and we see if we can take the straight arm version. So this is your option if you can't manage quite with the arm outside the knee. And that's why we've got this little business going here with the leg, left leg to the right. Makes it a little easier to get into this pose. So go with elbow, either outside or hooked around that raised knee there. So right side for me now. Right leg is up, right knee is up. Breathe deeply, stretch both arms. If you're doing this variation, I'm just going to turn around sideways so you can see the fairly strong activity of the trailing arm. Or maybe you can see exhaling how both arms stretch out. You want to see if you can find that feeling there. Breathe out, and a super lift, broaden and open of the chest. So it's pretty squeezy in the waist, in the abdomen, and that's a good thing. Very good for the health of your abdominal organs. You can move your head. And you can stay here, breathing deeply, as long as you like. The focus is very much that broad and lifted chest. Okay, and from there, we're going a little bit the other way now. Left leg or extended leg goes to the other side of the mat, and it's nearly mat width distance here. And away we go here. So you see how that works? Might be a little different on this side. Really stamp this foot down and stretch forwards. Stretch out as best you can. And look at your hands. And then look at the extended leg and see if you can lengthen that leg a little bit more. So you're going to be fairly active through the foot of the extended leg, and particularly through the ball of the big toe. Deep breaths here, and if it's available to you, this twist, it's a Marishasana variation here. You bring the arm around and the other one behind. It's a fairly simple bind up on the bolster and in this variation. So you might find you can do this, and if you can, lengthen that chest bone, that sternum a little bit more. So middle back softens. This is a super pose for your shoulders. More focus on the shoulders in this variation. So you'll feel your neck very long. Stay long through the extended leg and press down evenly through that right foot. That's the one that's closest to you, the one that's taking the weight. So there's lots going on, and that's usual for twists. Breathe deeply and absorb all of the benefits, and don't go too hard into one area or the other, although twists do tend to direct us don't they? To where we need to open and release a little bit more. Please just do that gradually. Gently is the way to go. All right, so coming back to the hip width now, twist, where if possible you bring elbow out and see how the other arm, the trailing arm, is still strong. And if you can, arrange yourself so that you can bring elbow outside the knee. Then you can use both those areas of the body to help you with your twist. You press, exhale, press knee into elbow. Exhaling, press elbow into knee. And with this movement and long steady breaths, back off to get a breath in, adjust on exhalation, comes the space, the length, the opening, and thereby the twist. Breathe deeply. Where are you feeling it? Where do you need to soften a little bit more? And don't try too hard. Don't do that by trying to get in there more strongly. Can you lift, broaden, open, lengthen, support, and breathe a little bit more? And the opening will come. Last few breaths. That's it. Always look for neck and shoulder release in your twists. Some of us will be in middle, lower back, all of us in abdomen, I hope, and a little bit of legs in this one. Fantastic. All right, how does that feel? It should feel pretty good. You come out and take a little bit of movement again, this Sukhasana release here. Be on the sides of your feet and roll through, rotate through. Sides of the feet is important, it supports us in this pose. Very good, very good. All right, so we're going to take a little hold here, just change sides with the legs. And you do that as often as you need to. You roll through as much as you need to. And then we're going to turn, rotate around and lean over the front knee or knee of the front leg, like this. So you have some support here with your hands on the mat there in front of you. And then again, it's a process of giving way. Breathe out and let yourselves be heavy through the upper body, and it is, and just gently look after yourself by supporting with the hands here. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can just rest. My right leg is forward, so I'm resting left hand on left knee. Breathe here and just gently apply even just the weight of the arm, body weight's enough here, into that trailing knee, thigh and hip. So that's the one behind you, and we're over the knee of the front leg. Last deep breath in and out. It's good. Okay, you can give the legs a little shake before we change sides, and you can do as many circles as you like here. I've changed again the position of the legs. I'm now left leg in front. The circling around, the moving in between the holding poses is super to facilitate the whole process. And you do that as much as you need to. You're finding it difficult to hold, then just come out and move a little bit more. My left leg is in front. I'm allowing myself with long breaths out to subside over the left knee. I'm feeling that fair bit in right side, lower, middle, back, and a little bit more as I rest the right hand trailing arm on trailing knee. That little bit of extra body weight just helps you to ground again that trailing buttock bone, and you're kind of lengthening from there right through to the base of the skull. Last few breaths. Well, you can take as many as you like. Very good if your foot is flexed, and particularly the one you're over the top of. You need to take some, apply and give your body some support there, and particularly your knees. All right, just stretch those legs out. We might take a little tiny bit of side bend before we leave here. Okay, so just take the arms up as you breathe in and see if you can lift up a little bit more. Now take the arms all the way up, wriggle on the butt hip bones, see if you can lengthen a little bit more from butt hip bone to fingertips. Stretch your arms. And bring the arms down, bend the elbows, take a good breath in. Again, that expansive opening, and breathe out and go to one side. Gentle side bend. Inhaling, lift, broaden and open. And exhaling to the other side. Breathe here. That's it, into your side bends, and support again with that outstretched arm, the hand that's on the mat. You want to press down and away. And then your side bend will be more supported. Sit back into your trailing butt hip bone. That's the one behind you, furthest from your direction of stretch. And once you've loosened up a little bit here, let's hold. Exhaling, draw that supporting elbow into the body. Lengthen through, arm overhead, look up. And then tuck your chin into your armpit. And can you round out a little bit more? So both arms work here. Not so much the overhead one, more the one that's grounding and supporting you. Deep breath in, and you can go to the other side. Deep breaths are very good here. We use the moving phase to encourage the flow of the breath. In the holding phase, we're kind of testing that a little bit. Use your outlying, your supporting arm, the one that's taking weight, and take a bit more weight, and feel what happens through the side body and the side stretch. Look up, and then look back past that inner upper arm, chin to armpit. Feels good. All right. Come back up, wriggle, lengthen. Ideally nice and evenly into both sides. Come back down and let's come out. Very good. Very good. I'm going to sit however you choose. You can sit up on the bolster. You can sit in Virasana, knees together and feet apart if you choose. Use a block, use a bolster, but be comfortable. We'll be here for a little bit. Give yourselves a big hug. Big hug. Draw your shoulders down and lengthen a little bit through the base of the skull. And now a little through the chest bone. Change sides. Big hug. Draw down those shoulders. Draw apart those shoulder blades. And just make sure you're comfortable through the lower body. If you're in Virasana, lengthen from knee to big toe. And wherever you are, Virasana, Sukhasana, lengthen that lower back. Going back to the first side, big hug, releasing the arms and rotating now the thumbs towards the face, Garudasana. Again, lifting the chest bone and drawing the shoulders down. My right arm is on top, so I'm rotating chin to right shoulder point. You can reverse these cues. Wherever you are, breathe. And as you breathe out, try and look to lengthen lower back, sternum, chest bone, and neck by drawing shoulders down. Release on the side. Big hug. And this is good. Might be enough for you. You might be able to hook into your shoulder blades, and you'll find you can after a while. Draw down and apart those shoulder blades a bit more actively. And that's the way into the pose. When you release the arms, you want elbow of top arm leading elbow of lower arm, and then it's easier to rotate the thumbs around towards you and bring the hands inside one another. The focus of all variations in Garudasana and hug is to broaden the shoulder blades, lift the chest and draw the shoulders down, thereby bringing length to the neck. And now you can again take the head to the top shoulder or shoulder of top arm, left side for me. You feel a deep pull, opening between your shoulder blades, drawing away from the spine. That's it. Come out and roll those shoulders as much as you need to. Fantastic. Right. We're going to lie on our backs and use the bolster and stretch the legs very gently. You might use your strap and you might not. Just keep it handy. We'll see how we go. Pop yourselves up on your bolster underneath the pelvis and stretch the legs up. Might take a few breaths here to actually be able to straighten your legs, particularly if you've been sitting in Virasana. Sitting for any length of time in any pose is going to mean that it can take a little while to stretch the legs out, but they really like this. They respond very nicely. Take the arms up. Look at your feet and see if you can stretch your toes out a little more. Pressing balls of the big toes themselves towards the ceiling and stretching the little toes apart and down. Stretch your fingers. Wriggle your shoulder blades apart. You feel how easy that is. And feel also how your neck lengthens. Roll your head and move the base of the skull a little bit higher up the mat. Now, this is super release for this area of the upper back, and lots of us are really tight here. And can be the origin of headaches and more serious conditions. So very good to keep this nice and open. All right, lace your fingers, press out through the palms. Take a deep breath in and lift the shoulders up, and exhaling, let them rest back down. Inhaling, press them up, and exhaling down. You feel lots of opening through your upper back. Lift up as you breathe in. Bring the arms over halfway to the floor. How are you going with your legs? Are they stretching out a little bit more? Squeeze your quads, activate your feet. Feel that you can lengthen through inner legs, soles of the feet a little bit more. All right, just let the arms keep coming. Let the legs come over a little more now. And move the weight a little more towards your middle back. And from there, come to Baddha Konasana. Take a little rest. Wrap the feet. Widen the knees and press the soles of the feet a little bit more actively and evenly into each other. Can you feel lots of weight through your upper back? Move your head a little and keep this area nice and open as we work into groins and inner thighs. Keep your knees supported by widening the knees and employing your knee bandha. Find some grip behind the knees as you widen those knees. And last deep breath in and out. That's good. All right, I'm going to take one leg up and stretch the other leg out. Use your strap here. easiest way to do this and most comfortable. Arms straight, strap around the ball of the foot and both legs extended. Be right on top of your bolster. Take long breaths and lengthen, particularly through the outstretched leg along the mat. Gaze point is your foot of the raised leg. Keep both feet active, so that cues you to work your arches a little bit more, your toes. And you feel what happens with your leg stretch, particularly the raised leg when you do that. That's it. 3 more breaths, let them be deeper and lengthen from outstretched heel to head. Let your arms lengthen and let the raised leg lengthen. Last deep breath. Draw that knee into the body. Keep the extended leg lengthened. And for those of you that want to go a little bit deeper, you can take shin bone vertical here also with other leg bent. Makes it a bit easier, or extended for extra depth, extra opening. Breathe deeply and draw the shoulders down and away from your ears. Don't have them hunched. Keep your neck long. All right, let's change sides. Change there as you're ready. Take the other leg up. Nice comfortable wrap of the strap. Arms straight, both legs straight. So find a manageable starting position and breathe deeply here. Activate your legs and your feet. So very gently, the quads and the arches. In combination with deep breaths, each breath out, look to lengthen a little bit more here. Legs, arms, neck, spine, and breathing. Feel that you can work it out when you breathe this way, when you practice this way. You know how long to stay here. And those extra couple of breaths that we often end up taking are super valuable. They're the ones that really count. Draw the knee in. Or take the shin bone vertical. You may have to bend the extended leg. You may be able to stretch it out again. Shoulders down, breathing long. Close your eyes. Open out here. If you're feeling you're breathing long, deep, and considered, that's beautiful. It's a lovely deep practice, a lovely deep release. Finish with knees to chest and some gentle twisting. Extend the arms out and exhaling knees up to outstretched elbow. Inhale, center. And breathe your way into your twist. So we started this morning with some breathing, some holding and a propped posture. And then we moved. And then we held and then we moved. And we're continuing and we're finishing in the same way. It's lovely to mix up your practice with some breathing, some moving and some holding. Bring the knees down to left elbow and hang on to them, or the left leg, or the left foot. Look to the right. Breathe deeply. And depending on how you're situated here, you might be able to stretch the arms a little, but look for broadness and opening through the chest. Principally with your breathing, your body weight and your placement. Knees up. And finish off as you need this morning. You can breathe and move a little bit more. You can hold to the other side. Breathe fully and freely as best you can, and you'll know what to do here and how long to hold. Enjoy these breaths. It's a beautiful breathing pose, this one. Twists are always interesting with our breathing, but particularly this one. I think a little easier to breathe in this supported reclining twist. You can enjoy your pose a little bit more. I always finish with a little movement at the end of the twist, whether it's rolling or rotating through. However we do this, the body really soaks up and integrates and absorbs all of the benefits of our holds. All right, it's a simple matter from here to lift up and roll your bolster down underneath your knees, or you can bend your knees up a little bit more here. The more you bend your knees, the more supported it is. Your pelvis positions more freely, your lower back is more supported and softer. And you can lengthen out, open out more easily. Relax as you choose. Legs up the wall. Shavasana, modified Shavasana. Just rest evenly, comfortably and mindfully down. Perhaps the hands on the body. And perhaps some deeper breaths again as we started. To find and to feel the opening and the release of the breath, the ebb and the flow of our breathing. Once more, as you breathe out, give way, rest down, be grounded into the earth that's very supporting here. Progressively let yourselves rest down more fully, more freely. Breathe now. Rest and breathe. Feel free to stay here or to come out slowly and to come up and sit. wherever you are. Stay with your breathing. Come back to the breath. When you're ready to come out, finish with a deep breath in and out. Making your way down or onto your side or into prayer position if you're sitting. Let your gaze be down, your eyes down as you open your eyes. And come out gently, slowly, mindfully, retaining and staying connected to that space that you've created. Very good practice to come out at your own pace, nice and quietly there. Namaste.